Alrighty. Set muted. Check. Nope, not muted. Okay. Howdy, howdy. Demon Slayer and Hendrix. And anybody else that's watching. We're on to painting. Big nighty night. Managed to get him primed up right before I jumped on the stream. No, primed up a little bit right before I was getting things set up. So we are ready to start on this process. Though, since I did change a bit of the way I did this guy because he's attached to the base, which I haven't done that on any of them before. The bases have all been separate. See your primer mist under there. Get some lead belcher. I definitely could not tip it over. So I'm going to need to work a bit on the base to seal that up a bit better. And I've been doing some reading. And looking at chapter approved as well. Looking through, I did see a great bit by, I can't remember which YouTube channel it was, one of the ones I watch. They're like, your army is going to be okay. It was like a 7-minute video where the guy comes in and he's like, look at my new Marines. And he has boxes and boxes of Marines. Like, what happened to your G-Stealer cult? And the guy looks all sad and they slap him. They're like, your army's going to be fine. It just started. Give it time. We don't know what anything is yet. Don't know what the meta is going to be, if, and, you know, any of that, really. Still very much, you know, fresh. So rather than overspraying too much primer, we'll be just taking some lead belcher, getting at the angles I couldn't get with the spray can. It's going to be the start. And I tried to get the 40K music by the gentleman yesterday, the Mano music person. And I have to do some tweaking to my setup to make that work. Because I use an audio mixer and my browser is already tied to one mixer. So I'm like, I'd have to tweak this, playing with it, and just could not get it so I could control it. Like I have control on Pretzel Rocks at the moment. Did listen to some of the music though, and it's fun. So before the next stream, have that worked out, and you'll be able to listen to the music to see if you like it. And then I can have on-brand themed music, which I like the sound of. How's everybody's Monday going? It's been a wild and woolly one for us. Both our day jobs are a little crazy. Wife's more so than mine. Puppy had another vet appointment today. She's going to need a follow-up surgery, which is scheduled for Thursday. Her tail's just not healing right, so they got to redo the stitches and sutures. So we're like, ugh, poor thing. Poor puppers. There's more surgeries. We said more time in the cone and crazy bandages. Hit me with some good news, folks, if you got it. If I manage to bore everyone to sleep, that's also always a possibility. Except It's switched music channel though, so it's got more. This one's called Epic Cinematics. Might be more on theme. That's definitely sound more on brand. This is why I like primering them not on the base. So much easier to get the primer and up on all these little nooks and crannies. As opposed to having to fill it in after the fact. Like I am now. Maybe get the base going before I... It's still alive. Lead belcher trim low. To another sure. It's a black. This is my second lead belcher. Hang on one sec. This one like 10 points. Not. Let's add it on board. Focus. Look suspiciously if like the lead belcher. Knew I had another one. You should try and keep multiples of the most used stuff, and especially when it decides to spill all over me. Really? Starting today off great. Sounds like I don't know what this is. Excuse me. Everybody went all the way. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Do 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 do. I don't know. Might mute in a moment, depending on excitement levels of Puppy, and if I need to go calm her down. Very Beetlejuicy sound. This one. Hello there, Dark Owl. How are you this Monday? Starting the long... I don't know how long this is going to take. Well, I haven't played it yet, but I have been reading through the rules and everything. And I've got some ideas on what I want to run for detachments. So I will... It looks good. It definitely has what I think is a more kind of thematic and cinematic feel about it. So, points artillery list. I've been making lists a bunch myself. So yeah, the theory crafting has begun in earnest. Thank you, wife. It did hinder it a bit. So, oh, daughter. I think that was kind of the intent, was for the artillery to have spotters. Yeah. So. And I mean, Rantlings aren't too terribly expensive, right? Honestly, I don't know what their ability is off the top of my head. You'll have to explain it. Okay. I forget what you're doing. Yeah, making all kinds of noise. Are they stealth or low knot? Do they have like a nice thing where they punch up on detection range and stuff like that? I honestly don't know. A shooting phase, after they shoot, they can make an old move. Nice. So they can kind of get out of the way. They move, shoot, move. And they have infiltrator and stealth. Very nice. Doesn't sound like the perfect scouters. Or spotters. Sorry, I have a bug in my... Yes. So you get them in. And they have... do they have precision? I definitely see them being good spotters. I am having Reese's. It's been a Reese's kind of day. Do their guns have precision? Well, it sounds like they'll be pretty damn effective spotters at that. You get them to do the spotting. So if they're not, they don't have the survivability. So it sounds like you'll be fielding them in the smallest units possible. Basically just to get them out, get the enemy seen, and then that's pretty much it. Make range. Toughness 2, saving throw 6. Yep. They will vanish. Nice, Cerium. May the God Emperor be with them. I mean, they are inhumans, so... I do have a rat, the Model of the Month one. They are coughing, bathing, and hydrogen bombs. But you have to look at it as what's their objective. Objective is to make sure your artillery can have a point of view on the enemy. And that's that. Once they do that, then that's fine. How many points are they with the update? Toughness 1, so everything's winning them on 2s. They have toughness 1. And 12 is good, especially for something that infiltrates and is stealth. What's their OC? So I'm definitely gonna, I mean, I see uses for them. You can. Okay, she's good. Sorry, checking on Puppo. You used to have some cool character collection. Well, I mean, that's not a terrible thing because all the legend stuff's going to be available in the app soon. They've stated that multiple times. So you will have access to them. This might take a little bit. Do the rifles have like dev wounds or, I mean, I know they're precision, but. Oh. I see that tank. Poof. You've also got to consider another thing to consider with the ratlings. So they see the enemy tank, and then the enemy tank, or they see the. What about second better? After they've done the spotting, if the enemy decides to spend time to eliminate them, that's shooting that could be at something else. So the ratlings could take the shots for and be a nice distracting target for something else. And that is something else I feel that they would have value. You know, say they spot something. Say they spot my knight. And make it so that, you know, because I can have somebody's knights be stealthy. The ratlings see the knight. The knight, if I turn and shoot the ratlings, then that's a turn of shooting that hasn't gone to something else. And thank you, Peskysaurus, for the follow. If you're chilling in chat, let me know. I love talking to people. Right now, Dark Owl is talking about how they're going to be using ratlings as a scout and spotters for their artillery, their guard artillery list. And we're debating the functionality and usefulness. Wait, fly. Which I think is good. Oh, good gravy. I'm going to have a lot of flies over here, aren't I? I just realized wife moved one of the plants. Shook up all the... Painting is a shady business. Well, I have a contrasting opinion. If we're going to make bad jokes, let's make bad jokes. And yes, I get it, and that was delightful, Peskysaurus. I'm working on my Knight Tyrant, who I finished building yesterday. With lots of crazy customizations, like chains and stuff. And then this one, I had to do the base differently than I have been, which I'm not fond of doing it differently because I like the way it's been coming out. And the Rampager seems to be ready to fall off his spinny thing. So hold on a second. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in your box? You're about to fall off. Yes. Okay, it's a bit more secure now. Played 30 pounds. Guard again. Only 140 models. Come on. Bums. The puns are good there, Peskysaurus. Alright, so right now I just finished priming this guy. Let's settle down, please. That's where I'm working on these Chaos Knights. I've been working on them for a bit. I have a couple other armies with a lot of models, so I wanted to do an army with a few models that were highly custom. So all my Chaos Knights are corn themed. Hence the blood letters coming out of them. Like on the Rampager there, he's got the blood letters on his shoulder. And all my little knights around me have, blood letters coming out of the top. In different spots. The Tyrant, being the Warlord, will have 3. 260. Nice. This one is almost done. It's going to make a giant. This one make 2 minutes. So movement and shooting. Yeah, the Chaos Knight's got a bit of a mixed bag, I would say. I mean, we are mostly, it is an elite army. Most of my stuff, like points-wise, kind of hovered the same. Like, as crazy as it sounds, because, I got silver paint on my hands. It's like the Tyrant went down like 10 points. Nothing crazy. Win through attrition. They if your enemy falls asleep because you've been taking too long moving, you win. But the Tyrant went down. The Abominant stayed the same. The Rampager stayed the same. The double Gatling Despoiler went up a chunk, which I get, and he also has the tax. My War Dogs pretty much stayed the same, except Carnivores went up 5 points each, which, like I got 3 Carnivores, so that's 15 more points. So I have to switch a few things to... like I've got 2 more War Dogs to build, which I got after I collected everything else here. That's going to be done as Executioners. So those, since they still are their 130, I can drop a War Dog, drop a Carnivore, field an Executioner, still have 6 War Dogs, and then take enhancements on the Tyrant. I got oof, excuse me. I didn't think Votan... Does Votan... I always thought they were more middle of the road as far as, like, not large quantities. I could be wrong. Now I'm just doing a little bit of black touch-up where the primer didn't get. Well, I let the lead belcher I did on the chassis here try it before I start my giant contrasting madness. She got decent coverage. Ah. That's no fun when you encounter people that... You became an artist for the Monet. Well, boy, have I got a surprise for you. Harder in that Monet being an artist these days. Though, if you're looking to hire an artiste for anything, I can recommend. Hello there, Manu. I was working on getting it set up to use your music, and then realized because of my mixer, I have to do a few extra steps. And since I primered this guy, I was like right about when I was getting ready to start. I'm like, I can't do it now. I will do it tomorrow when I'm not streaming, and get the mixer set up because I need to use my mixer controls a browser source already for audio on this, so I can't separate out the volume like I have to separate out. Like I can control my music's volume with a dial. So, but I found a solution like shortly after I hit the stream button. I'm like, shit. So I did listen a bunch to your music, and I will, with your blessings, be using it and be referencing you for that. For background music. For here. I just gotta actually hopefully have the time, which I will tomorrow. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm like, no, this will be easy. And I'm like, why is this? Oh, fuck, because I already have a browser source set up. Pretty technical garbage. So yeah, I realized because my mixing setup, I need to tweak it. But I have a solution. I will. I want to. I was enjoying listening to it at work today. And I had a day job level of craziness that was like, okay, I need some metal music. But anyway, if anyone's looking for an artist, you can always check out her, art by Minerva Fox. Right now she has a webcomic called Orc and Squig. It is about an orc. An orc is all of us. It's the daily life of an orc and his pet squig. Pet squig is based off of that coned up puppers right there. Her name is Lula, and her inability to be normal. Now, I will be using the music, don't worry. I just gotta take the time and set it up, which will be probably tomorrow. I'll take the time and set it up, because I won't have to worry about getting this going. So, yeah. The poor coned up puppers. Ugh. Yes, I did listen to it a bunch. All right. Okay. All right, so got the black in here. So now we're on to why I bought a whole nother bottle of this contrast paint. Because I use it on the chassis portions of these guys, kind of heavily. So I will be doing that now, using the big brush. With epic music. It's not as epic as the Music Mano, which everyone should click on the link there for Mano Music Tributes. And listen to their Warhammer. You can listen to all their stuff, but the Warhammer music is what I've been listening to. All right, so what I've been doing for the paint on these guys is I'm going to have to do the contrast first and then get the base. That's going to be it. All right. So I've been basing them in lead belcher. We can use my despoiler as an example here. So this is based in lead belcher. And then I do a contrast layer of the Cygor brown. Just give this kind of rustish color. And then I do a heavier dry brush of Runefang steel. It gives it this nice texture that I like. And then I touch up a bunch of random items there. Highlight with Skull Crusher brass and a few other colors. And that's just Flesh Tears red contrast. It's heavy contrast paints and things on these guys. And just lots of skulls in there. You went up by 40 points. You son of a bitch. Because the base guy went down. But then these are 25 points each. So he went down 10 points, and then you have to go up 50. It's like an increase of 40. And then if you take more than one, you're paying out the nose. Fewer count jumps. I was at 7, now I'm at 2. Made everybody angry. No lulas. Nobody wants to watch. No. So anyway, on to Sigor Browning. This is going to take a while. Get away, bug. I'm back. You had to go for a sec. It's all good. No, you must stay and watch forever. We all be busy. We all got lives. I ain't gonna fault you for doing stuff. I just gotta figure out how to hold this guy, because I have to be careful with the chains. Sly Marbo. I don't know what Sly Marbo does in this edition. He was always fun. And I've heard, I didn't see what Caiaphas Cain does, but supposedly he's pretty good this round. Well, he hasn't been in the game, though. So, Caiaphas Cain's supposed to be pretty good. I heard people talking about him. I mean, I don't know what Sly Marbo does for 11th. Or actually, if I didn't really look at him what he does in 10th either. I don't have much guard. I have like one guardsman. He's up there. It's Yark. Because Yark. I'm sorry, Dark Owl, I'm not able to provide you with good thoughts or anything more than I don't know. Should. Curious to see what comes out of it. I'm liking what I saw with 11th. I'm liking what I'm reading on the rules. It definitely gives me incentive to play the Chaos Knights the way I want to play them. Instead of like, oh, I got to run triple get with the spoiler garbage. I did see a battle report of Chaos Knights versus Tyranids, and it was kind of a stomping, but then the Chaos Knight player did not build towards his disposition. And I think that's what did him in. Nope. Sandris, thank you for the cling, sir. May your work be slow and uneventful. Hopefully. Don't worry, lurk away. I'm not going to say you have to say, oh my god, be active. Blah. I've been told my voice is, I have a fantastic face for radio. So, lurk away and enjoy me rambling on about a lot of stuff that I probably don't know too much about. But I did see a battle report that was he playing? No, he was playing Disruption, if I remember correctly. Like, that's something that I've seen. It's a little wonky. I think it still needs some baking near Dark Owl. You have the codexes, right? So, because you got to enter all your codexes on the portal first, and that'll unlock all your points and everything. You can still see points, you just can't see full data sheets on the app if you don't have the codexes. That is kind of a wonky way of doing it. I will agree with that. Working for too busy. Sorry to hear that. I'm always going to hope you have an easy, slow night. So I may hope for the best and prepare for the worst kind of a person. And Dark Out, there's... The app is wonky. I fully admit and accept. This guy's heavy. Right, he is definitely moving. Hold on a sec. My Rampager is going on a sojourn. Hold on a sec. I'll disconnect. Oh, babysitting you guys. Ugh, sorry to hear. I'm more lost than a fly trying to get out of a house. For some reason, my Rampager is wandering. Well, I can help you a little bit, Dark Owl, if you tell me what you're trying to find, because I am reasonably familiar with the app. You just got to keep an eye on that Rampager. For some reason, he wants to wander. I got to put a rubber sheet or something with more friction on that. If I glue a metal plate down, that would be perfect, actually. Need to get a metal plate. That would secure it. Okay. Keep an eye on the Rampager. It's bored. Why am I Rampagers deciding to wander around on his little pedestal in there? He absolutely is. Got some like Halo-esque music going on here. New projects. What's the new project? If you're able to let us know. I did like your full-scale Marines. Or true-scale Marines, not full-scale. Full-scale. That's that lady somewhere that's doing the 3D printing craziness. The lady with the huge tracts of land, as it were. Which, if you haven't watched, you should check out them. If you just look up like a life-size Horus. There's a woman somewhere, I think in Arizona, that has some serious 3D printing chops. And if she's not a Warhammer fan, she's doing a great job pretending to be one. But she 3D printed a life-size Horus. It's reselling eBay. All right. remember you had mentioned that you were looking to army reselling as a way to supplement things, which I do hope works. Play, nice. Hopefully we can get some enjoyment other than trying to make it into a career, or at least some supplementary income, because when you start putting monetary ties to hobbies, it becomes harder to enjoy them, at least in my experience. So keep looking up to watch the Rampager. I did snap a small piece off of the Wraith Knight's arm. I'm about to fix that tomorrow. These little decorative tubes I have to fill in a gap in space. What army are you going to be building there, Sanders? More to Marinos? Marinis? Stop wandering. Dang it, he's sliding off again. What is going on? I don't know why this guy is wandering so much right now. Hold on a moment. Already built. Ooh, Imperial Fists. No, you did show off your chops for doing yellow, because that's a color I hate. Finally, you good, hun? One second, we have to pause. Oh, eBay Mini. Monitors aren't responding. That's an issue. All right, hold on a second. That is a solid logic, Sanders. Sorry about that. I had to put some blue tack on the base because the Rampager wants to wander around. I know what I need to do to fix that. So we'll be going to the hardware store this weekend, hun. I want to pick up a small piece of metal that I'm going to glue to the top of the spinny thing because it's wobbly. and it's shaking them off their sliding since it wobbles a little bit. But if I put a piece of metal on there, then the magnets will hold them in place. The magnetized bases. So don't know why it's gotten wobbly. Maybe, I mean, it is a super cheap, like, spinny rotisserie thing, so maybe it's just getting tired of moving the big knights, or the big knights way too much. They're causing it to wobble, so. But I do see your logic, Sanders. I am not a fan of painting yellow myself, so I can see, hey, someone with some disposable income going, you know what? That army's well painted, and the colors I like. So. The knight is. That is the one that runs and gets good cardio, so he's just hungry. Okay. It's okay. What's up, Megaform? Good to see you, sir. It is absolutely a Monday. Hope your evening is going well. And starting the painting process. It's big night. Which involves lots of contrasty paints, specifically Cygor Brown. Get this in all these little shadows. That's fair. I feel you on that one heavily, sir. You're getting by as well. One of the things I had to do today was install locks on a refrigerator, because the janitorial staff at our building keeps stealing going into our fridge and our drink cabinet and stealing stuff. And unfortunately, the city does not want to fire him, or cannot fire him. I don't know exactly what it is, but we've literally caught the guy in the act twice now. And it's just been like, oh, okay, we'll ask him to stop. It's like, can you? Got it working on? You should do, Sanders, take a percentage of it. Say if you sell it for $500, then take $400 to buy another army to rescue, and then have 100 for yourself for, supplies and other stuff as well. People do suck sometimes. Then I did get that joke there, Megaform. That's what we thought. And it's like, hey, I tried to be nice and like benefit of the doubt a little bit when I was talking to the guy's boss and the foreman about what was going on. I'm like, maybe he thinks that this is owned by the city. But it's not, because our companies pay for this out of their pocket. And they're like, oh, well, no, he knows better. And it's like, fucking get rid of him. You can do that too. But also, Sanders, you should take your supplies into account. I do accounting for a living. So if it costs, if you figure out what you're going to need to, basically the cost of goods sold, your COGS, figure out what you're going to need to do to what your supply-wise, what you're going to need to rescue the next army, and include that. So if if it's going to cost you another $20 of supplies, okay, then, and you made $500, then $420, or look for an army that's $380, and take your supplies into account. Because that's one of those things that'll nickel and dime you down. You're like, hey, I thought I was making money on this. I'm making great money selling these things, but I don't seem to be making a lot of profit, and it's probably because the supplies are eating in on you. I wish we could Megaform, but it is like sealed soda cans, so I'm not that good to spice up, cans of Coke with X-Lax. But we did make it painfully obvious, like that I got the crab juice. Only Mountain Dew and crab juice. That was a great episode of The Simpsons. Too bad they don't air it anymore. It's not an episode you'll see in America. Get away, bug. Flies are angry at me today. That's fair. It's all good, Sanders. My pesky accounting face. Pesky accounting nature is getting to me. These gnats are nuts today. Gnats. But I'm pumped. That was beautiful. Megaform. Oh, I got a new follower by Peskysaurus. This person will make you proud, Megaform, because they were doing some fantastic puns. They were doing artist puns and things like that. I don't know if they're still watching or not, but Megaform is a master of the pun arts. Their pun fu is quite enjoyable. I know pun fu. I'm glad I picked up another can of this pot of this Cygor Brown. Fun fu. Do. Everybody was pon fu writing. I don't know. I don't know what the next lyric should be. Nice. Say, Andrews, it might be worthwhile checking your local hobby stores to see if anyone's selling off some of the stuff there. And you wouldn't have to worry about eBay if you got a hobby store, because there was actually plenty of supply. There was not a shortage, no scalping, none of that crap. If anyone's scalping stuff from it, they're idiots because it's very much available. Debbie did right for the gamers and making sure that there was enough supply. All the stores got what they needed. Because yeah, I've like at the yeah, heck, even the Warhammer store that I go to, which is an official Warhammer store, I already had people like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with your orcs? Do you want your orcs?" And I'm like, "Actually, yes, we're gonna keep the orcs," but people wanted to buy the orcs. So it's, and there are folks that like wanted to trade their Marines for them. Like, well, I've got extra Marines. I was like, I want the Orxies. Orxis. That absolutely, I think, will be your best bet. Because I'm on I mean, I don't Discord much anymore. Just brain doesn't brain that way at the moment. But I am on a Discord for one of the other local stores. And yeah, there are lots of people asking for trading this and looking to buy that. And one guy bought like 4 copies just because I think they wanted all the orcs out of it, and they're selling off the Marines cheap. So it's like, hey. And they're also selling off all the other stuff. Yeah, he bought 4. Because they also got, I mean, you can get your rules, data sheets, and the brick of chapter approved cards, which I've yet to really pour through. So you can get all the other stuff. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people, you could only pre-order 2 was the max you could get through GW. But there's been enough supply that when I was talking to Eric yesterday, he said, yeah, everyone got their pre-orders, and then he still had like another 10 after selling. I think he said he sold 10 or 15 copies on top of the pre-orders, and he still had 10 more left. Because they gave his store 60 something. Which he felt was high, but they made sure he's got them. This sounds like weird electric cats. We're skipping that track. And you shouldn't have electric cats. That just sounds like a recipe for unpleasantness. Did the music stop? No, it's playing. It's just very quiet. Oh, hun, I figured out how to get Mano's Warhammer music right as I was like starting the stream, because I was trying to figure out how to get the audio sources set up for the mixer. And I was like, kids, I was struggling because it's on YouTube, but I have a browser source already set up for the stream, so I can't have the browser source multiple ways and still control the volume for multiple items. And I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, all right, I had hit go live, and I was playing with stuff, and I realized that at the end, I'm like, I could set up under a different browser. So if I stream the YouTube to a different browser like Safari, or not Safari, Firefox, and then I can use that as a browser source separate from Chrome. So the Chrome browser source would work for sound alerts, and then the Firefox, I said Safari, the Firefox browser source would work for the YouTube music, so I can control volumes. But I'll get that set up later, like tomorrow. I don't know why I said Safari. I don't have a Mac. I haven't had a Mac in a very long time. Last Mac I had was that Mac Mini. Because Edge is a bitch and needs to die. I've used the snot out of that Mac Mini. That was my gaming computer for years. Played WoW on that thing. We did a lot on that Mac Mini. It's a good little computer. With the amount that Edge tries to force Copilot on me, drop dead. We used it until the games I played no longer were too powerful for it. It might have been around that time frame, actually. Don't remember what generation it was. But it's a good little system. I did the RAM upgrade on it, and that was that. And honestly, the form factor was brilliant because it took up no space. It's a good thing. So that's why I'm like, the 2010 sounds about right, because yeah, it is slow as heck these days. I can believe that. The monster truck was born in 11, so it might have been a 2010-ish. Steam released the Steam Machine today. In gaming PC news. You right there, puppers? What you doing? Just getting comfy? Okay. Let's see you're moving. Let's do that. Oh, that poor puppy.
For the Emperor!
I already hit it. The coned up dog. Still might be a bad shit idea to put the Linux on the Mac Mini. If you're not asking too much of it, I don't think it's a bad shit idea. Yeah, I'm open for you, Sanders. I'm betting somebody will have something at least. There's a green bandage. Lula, leave it. She listened. What are DVDs? CDs, what's the moving picture? Thank you, Sandras. Hope the rest of your evening goes by quick, and don't beat up the newbies too much. And thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. No, Sanders is at work. I think Sundays is their game night. I don't remember. The green would allow us to see if there's any bleeding, but I don't think there's... We would have seen it by now, so... They seem to have gotten the bandage down. Right. D&D on Saturday, not after brain power. It's awesome, Megaform. I am fantastically envious. When is the next session? Or is it like every Saturday, hopefully? Switch it over. You're right there, Lula. Just gotta get a settle down. She's back doing stuff. Uh-oh, stream boo. Hey, settle down. Out. Okay, there she goes. Very infrequent, mostly online. Are you using any of the online platforms like D&D Beyond or anything, or just on like Discord or something? I'm gonna live vicariously through you. Yeah. You there? Can I bug you for 2 things? Manos back. Thank you. Can you clean water and a drink? Tended to use Roll20. It's too much work using Discord or reviewing hand-drawn map. Still just that works. And did some Was it roll 20? I think it was roll 20 that I tried to do some stuff in, and I thought it does take some work, but it was nice. But yeah, there's a lot to set up. Especially with that. Running something that isn't like a standard setup at the moment. That can make the roll 20 systems a bit harder. Back into trying to get the little hair off the brushes. Well, that's nice. Never had access to a dev. I know it's a pretty flexible system. Like, I think, pretty sure it was Roll20 is what I was going to use for a Savage Worlds game that I tried to get off the ground and didn't. And I remember like having lots of different systems in there, and it was like, it's one of those things like, oh, there's tons of stuff on here, which is great that it can do so much, but it's also overwhelming that it could do so much. I guess I was struggle busting with a lot of it. It's one of those things like, there are a lot of really good tools for getting an online game, turning a in-person game into an online game relatively. There's a lot out there you can do, like make it not too terribly hard. And the more effort you're able to put in, the more crazy it can get. I've been in the spell magazine. Exactly. If you've invested so much time into getting it there that it's like, well, that's where it's like the what can you put in effort wise. Oh, excuse me. The puppy. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, no, that's another level of complexity. And not I probably could do it if I could sit down but it just seems like more of a fight than I'm able to do. Not that kind of drink.
Be more specific next time.
Booze.
I can't see that.
I know. Matt tools are Owl Bear Rodeo. I like the name of that one. Owl Bear Rodeo. And I've angered the wife with my vagueness. She'll beg for forgiveness. It was behind the microphone, so no one saw it. I need a new paper towel. The only downside of using this Sagor Brown contrast is it looks really disgusting when you're cleaning it. Like, ugh. It is, it look like poo water. Freakazoid. That was the name of the show. I miss Freakazoid. Oh, I know. Look at the shrimpy puppy. Nurgle's entered. Yeah, Nurgle absolutely entered the chat. Autocomplete is the bane of many people's existence. Autocorrupt. Pardon. Oh. Lurk again. All right, sir. I hope whatever is troubling you is quick and not so troublesome. I do know. There. I think there's a plus on the end of that there, microform. Like there is a burp emote.
You have to guess which one.
I have to guess what this is now. It's not smoky. That's the rum.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's the black cast.
That's a black cast?
Yeah.
I'm losing it. Ah, man. Okay, now I'm getting it on the burn. The rum is not as burny. It didn't smell smoky as I thought it would. Oh, Glenmorangie. That's the good stuff. I recently got a Glenfiddich, 18, I think. And it was a birthday gift from a friend. This is Johnny Walker Black Cask, which is a sherry cask aged black label. I'm losing my taste buds, though. I couldn't tell. Would be legally distinct. This isn't Star Wars music. It's not Duel of the Fates. It's Party of the... Oh, God. It's not the Fates. Kindly Ones. Or Norns. Is it Norn? I think it's Norns. From Norse mythology. And as the kindly ones is what you call the fates in Greek. We have to guess what legally distinct movie music this is. Pardon. So much contrast paint. And thank you, wifey, for giving me my drink and not drink. Ooh, can't do the switchback. Unless that wasn't the Lula cam, I just switched over to camera source, which is quite possible. Okay, repeater, stop trying to wander off that platform. Oh, man. Much little areas to paint. Yeah, let's do Chaos Knights. It's gonna be fun. I mean, yeah. Gone through so much paint on these guys. Actually, I've been having a good time, especially with the customizations on these ones being just feels sweet. So much more custom than anything else I've got so far. I'm almost done with Lead Belcher, which is metal here. This one is on its last legs. And thankfully I've got one more ready to go. And then I've gone through 3 of these Retributor armors. I got through a lot of paint. I'm on, this is the second pot of Cygor Brown, and this is nearing its end of its life, and I've got the third pot ready to go. I've been burning through a lot of paint. Sheep. Sheep. Sheepy. Sheepy and kitty. Fluffy sheepy. Oh, more sheepy and kitty. I probably shouldn't have eye bleach there. You get distracted by fluffy animals. Kitties chewing on grass. Yeah, this is so since I've begun this big push on really getting this stuff done, I think this is the first time I've actually like worn out a brush, because I ended up having to get a replacement on one of the brushes. I've gone through tons of the texture paints and the technicals, all the resin. I'm going to finish off that resin on this guy's base and probably end up having to use I don't think there's not enough resin left in the first kit to do this base. So I'm going to need to bust out the second resin kit to finish this, to get this base done. Use tons of glue. Both the plastic cement and super glue. Oh, the primer. I need to get more, I need to get more cast black primer. That's almost out. It's like my second can. I've gone through 2 cans of lead belcher primer. It's been a lot of stuff. A lot of consumables. So I was encouraging Sanders to make sure he takes that into consideration. Especially if he's going to be running this for fun. I think he's for the rescuing armies and flipping them. Which I'm hoping he'll do all of. His paint schemes are good. So he's got that. Definitely has the skill to get it done. I think that's mostly one side done. For the contrasting. Just this side. Move these chains here. Back there. See some more. More in the nooks and crannies that we need to get to. Let me get all in there like them English muffins. All in there like them English muffins. Sit on the top here. If I can grab this exhaust. It's a decent handle. I'm just kind of pivoting on the base. This. This. Melt-a-gun, or whatever, demon breath spear, and these are what they're calling them. It's not a multi-melt, it's like a twin-linked melta. Multi-melt is more the stronger weapons, more heavy duty. This is more 2 of the light duty ones. Still do good damage to vehicles and stuff if they're in close enough range. The only non-blast weapons it has. Yep. So, looking at different angles, I see stuff I missed on the other sides. Keep rotating and spinning. Just like you want to tell some people to sit and spin. Okay. There. This is the one I've been saving the decal, as many of the decals as I could for. I got one full sheet. I got one full sheet here, and then almost another sheet. This guy's I'm gonna put decals all over this one because he's got most armor plates, so we have the most places for decals to go. Decal Man. Howdy, welcome back, Demon Slayer. Yeah, this one's going to have lots and lots and lots of decals. Okay. Watch the Sorority special on Warhammer TV. Well, that's the one versus them versus the orcs, right? Or has a bit of them versus orcs. Okay. I've watched a bit of it. I haven't watched it all the way through. But I mean, it is grim dark, so it ain't really any happy endings. I've been told that the fighter combat one is supposedly really good. Tight. Whatever, I can't remember what that one's called. The one where it's like the dog fighting versus Eldari. Pretty much. My friends had mentioned that they were listening to another streamer or somebody talk about the fact that they felt the narrative in 11th is bringing it back to kind of drive home the point that there are no good guys. The Imperium of Man is corrupt and evil as shit. And they needed to remind people of that. Because for some reason the Imperium of Man is being viewed as, oh, they're the good guys. No, no, no. They're pretty horrible too. There's one of the demigods, sons of the Emperor. His biggest enemy is bureaucracy. And like he actually says at one point, my greatest enemy, when he's trying to pick up a piece of paper. So that announcer of games guy puts it really well in some of his like videos and explanations and things. And does a great job of explaining it in ways that people get pissed about, but it's like, it's the truth, though. His stuff, like, I love his skits. Like, his informational videos are great because the guy is very well read, and he explains it in such just a nice, easy to digest, personable way. But it's his skits that kill me. Like, it's Gilliman, like his Lionel Johnson and Gilliman chat one. I was dying. Yes. Oh yeah, and he's 100% the fuck you and your gatekeeping bullshit. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. He's the guy that did the skits. And best part's like there's people when people call him out, like, oh, you don't know this, and he'll just start like, oh, have you read this? 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 You can shut up now. He's like, I have. I read them all. Go away. Remember when he was explaining on like how the lore fluctuates drastically. I think he is a dad, but yes, he does. He's got good solid dad energy. I know he's a cat dad at least because there's the video where the cat was on him. He's like, I'm doing this here with the cat. I know he's married. He just got back from the Edmonton Open. He did reasonably well. He's talking about out of like 200 something players, he placed 80, like mid 80s, 86, I want to say. Which that's pretty fucking good. Good lord. Yeah, that's why there's not a Horus Heresy omnibus yet. There's 43 fucking books. For Horus Heresy? A lot of friggin' books. Oh man. I've been literally contrasting this guy for almost 2 hours now. Mother of God. What is it now? There was another one of his I got to look at where I started to watch a little bit of some kid fighting off a chicken hawk that was going after her chickens. I wanted to watch it again. Or I wanted to watch it actually in its entirety. Don't know if it's the same little kid that was eating the chickens in the poultry Padawan video. Or if it's a different little girl. It's one from today. I think it was today. I didn't get a chance to really watch it. Look at him now, huh? You can watch it without me. It's fine. I will not be hurt or insulted. Deciding which faction to follow. All right. I figured that. There's a lot of books there. The Black Library app shows 100. Good gravy on a stick. Dead button there. If you want some fun reading in the Warhammer universe, you should check out Orc and Squig. Daily life of an orc and his squiggies. The squiggy is based off of the shrimpy dog there in her cone, which she'll be wearing for another 2 weeks at least. Hopefully less. Double or triple. Okay. Squash in the planetary battle with the virus? I'm not sure. That I honestly don't know off the top of my head. I'm not the most familiar with the Hershey syrup lore. All right. Well, it was the book series that Scarecrow recommended. You're right. That one Marine? They all get deaded at some point, but... Does he get dreaded? A lot of Marines that get deaded get dreaded. Does the deaded Marine dreaded? But then does the deaded Marine... Does the dreaded Marine become deaded again? What? I know, it's Monday. It's a little late, I would say. Get some water. Water is good for you. Brondo. It's got electrolytes. That's what algae wants. I don't know. It's what they crave, I think. So, is it? The Marine gets deaded? Painting so much Sagor brown, I'm going to poop this color. Actually, depending on what I ate, sometimes it does come out those colors. Wasn't there like a dreadnought that, if I recall correctly, like was a world bearers, world leader, like he was a dreadnought that was asleep when the heresy happened and woke up and was still loyal, even though his chapter went heresy. My favorite dreadnought story other than some of the stuff about Bjorn, is the Tau like took down a dreadnought and it was still alive, so they captured it, and they were having a hard time processing the fact that the Marine in the dreadnought was older than their entire species. I do love some of the stuff about Bjorn. I'm like, is that the one that was like barely alive? Like they found him on a planet and he was still alive but unable to move. And then when they finally found him, he was like, okay, I can die now. Like he just kept himself alive through sheer force of fucking will. He's like the oldest recorded living Marine at that point. I think that was a salamander. Kitty knows. Yeah, I remember. I can remember that now. Like the planet was falling apart and everything. And he's like, basically, he was happy to see his brothers alive. And he's like, I can die now because he couldn't move anymore. He just was. There's not much left of him. I remember reading some snippet of a thing when someone they had woken Bjorn up, and I don't remember what for, like if they needed his counsel or what, or if it was like for a major battle coming up. But Bjorn the Fellhandle was awake, and some like inquisitor aristocracy person said, "Oh, blah blah blah, the God Emperor," and Bjorn's like got pissed, and he's like, "I hate it when they call him that. He didn't want to be called the God Emperor." And they all just kind of shut up because, like, yeah, he was there. Can't argue with him. So would love Russ to come back. You have so much fun with Mr. Johnson and Russ just getting pissy at each other. And Bjorn would probably tell him off. You left me here for 10,000 fucking years. Should also have Vault. I mean, Vulcan would be a good left field return. Almost done doing the contrasting on this chassis. Almost. Then I gotta go through it and check it. Howdy, CDs. Thank you for declining. Welcome back. I'm almost done with this. Well, I think. Now, once I get it, most of it on here, then I got to go through and make sure and check it and look at different angles for all the little nooks and crannies to see what I missed. I guarantee there's spots I missed.
For the Emperor!
For the Emperor, says Lulacam. Lulacam says, Shrimpy Dog. With her cone. She's a cone shrimp. Our little cone shrimp. The perpetual Primarch Vulcan returns when needed most to combat the paperwork. Brother Vulcan, why have you returned? Someone's got to file the fucking taxes. It's been 10,000 fucking years and no one's paid their friggin' taxes. These scissors are the size of a flipping planet. This would be the greatest invention. Have you seen the price on corpse starch these days? It's like an arm and a leg. Literally. I had to sacrifice an arm and a leg to feed you all. Let's see. Well, at angles like this, I can see spots I missed. Be sad and yet so very true if the reason he comes back is when we need him the most is because fucking bureaucratic bullshit. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing. I should look at this upside down to see spots. Trying to hold it at angles so that the camera can see. If not, I'm going to be very quick. This is exciting. Guy paints underneath black base for viewers. Works. I honestly don't know. That's not ringing a bell for me, Demon Slayer. Your knowledge is superior to mine. To get this. Oh, that gives me an idea for an Orc and Squid comic. Oh, okay. Remind me tonight, hon. Yeah, I can see Vulcan taking that over and be like, you fuckers, really? Just really? I keep saying this and keep finding more stuff as I go. Every time I say I think I'm almost, I end up finding more. So it's my kind of like my keyword, my trigger word. I think I'm almost done with this. And then we'll find some more. Magically makes more stuff appear. It's like the you know, when you go, oh, but it's not rain. At least it's not raining. What's she doing? I think she's streaming. Oh yeah, she's dreaming. The pup was dreaming. Nothing bad ever happens to lamenters. Yeah, believe me, I've said that many times now, Demon Slayer. At least I'm not filthy fucking rich. She did. Nope, she's still twitching. The pupper's having dreams. She's twitchy. Legally distinct, not actually Lord of the Rings music. commissar with a thick Bronx accent. All right. Oh, so there you go. Actually, Demon Slayer, what it is, that's how Yarrick normally sounds. He has to put on that kind of Russian Ukrainian accent to motivate people because they weren't taking him seriously with his Bronx accent. He went to a vocal coach to teach him how to do the other accent. So when Yarrick's alone, deep breath, and he goes back to being from the Bronx. There's your random headcanon. All dried Cyber Brown. Okay. Let's take another pass and see what I missed. Because I guarantee there's stuff I missed. In fact, I see it right there. So, on the other side of this bit on here, a little bit up there too. Let's get some. Up here. Yeah, they're in New Jersey. Exactly. I love where this is going, Demon Slayer. New commissar lore. There. A little bit in there. Another sweep. See what I'm missing. Right there. There we go. All right. The doodle. Okay. I support it. Up there. All right. Look to be pretty good shape. Except to see if you. Oh, see now. Looking at this angle. Put up there. Put in there. Put over there. Put there. 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 I see the people that paint these guys when they're fully assembled. I cannot imagine that. All right. So we're good on that. Not much left in that Cyber Brown. Didn't have to get into the second. Okay, we're done with the contrasters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Abaddon Black. Wash that brush off. Get this brush out. Run some Abaddon Black in a few spots. This base. You need to go kind of thick on this because you need this to help seal the cork from where the it's going to be right here. So gotta make sure that's good solid layer of paint there, and it's going to help seal the cork up. So, two. Make sure that this. The reason I'm doing this is I'm going to let this contrast dry. You know, there's a few nooks and crannies that are going to be wet. I don't want to do any kind of dry brush work on this. What's the possibility of hitting wet paint? Need it to dry completely before I do that. So get in here. This is part of putting this black layer on this is mainly to seal it, and then it adds a little contrast because I'm gonna have to get the blue in here. It's going to take a little bit extra coverage because normally I primer this white on the base, but since this one is unique in that the knight is actually going to be walking out of the frozen like lake or whatever heck this is on, this frozen ice section. I had to attach him to the base first before primering because I need to do the base up, especially with all these chains, primer and paint these up, and then he's got to be on there so I can do the resin pour because that foot's going to be excuse me, the foot is going to be in the resin. That skull's going to be under the resin too, so it's normally I don't do this where they're on the base. Normally they're off the base so I can do the base completely separate and get it detailed up right. Detailed up correctly. That's looking for wet spots. Don't see much. I think that'd be good for... Oh, I do see a... See a spot I missed with the Cyber Brown, but I can kind of cheese that a little. And let's grab a small brush. Take a little bit of this black. That's in a little cranny here. Actually, no. I want to do that with the brown. There's more there than I thought. So back to the Cyber Brown. Back to the brown. Folks, never left us. The brown is back again. Backstreet's back. Just like the Chip Bandit has returned. Apologize for the not great view. Stuff right here. How many people will actually see that? Probably no one, but I know it will be there and it will drive me insane. This needs a bit of a wash. So, close up that contrast before I make a giant flipping mess. Just spill that around. Scrub the brush, scrub the brush. Scrub the brush, scrub the brush, scrub the brush. Clean water. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna let that dry up. On the crate. Every time I look, I see another thing I missed. Ugh. Ow! Stop fucking stabbing me with your sword. Just because I missed one thing, now you're gonna stab me with the friggin' sword, you friggin' bloodletter. Let's see a little bit more down there too. For some reason the bloodletters are angry at me. I already painted you bastards. Because this guy's got more bloodletters than the others, if that's why they're angry. Maybe. All right. Don't know the details of why the bloodletters are mad at me, but they are mad at me. I made my stuff good sacrifices for the blood god. I mean, look at my rampager. He's super bloody. He's got a weird claw thing. He's also got a Wraith Knight's head in his hand. It's his chew toy. Really like the Rampager. The more I look at it, just watching him, it's like me. He's got I nailed the gait, the kind of stance that thing has. I really like it. It's good to like the stuff you did. Very happy with how that model turned out. I was gonna glue one thing back on. All right, so now. Couple quick spots to dry. So we'll take a look at the base. Looks like it did good on the black. Might do another coat of black there. Gotta figure out what I'm going to do with these spears. And I don't know what marine I'm going to paint that as. It's marine down here. I'm not sure what color I'm going to make them. Could do Space Wolves. I haven't done Space Wolf Gray on anything. I'll probably do that. I'll probably do them as a Space Wolf. Alright, so let's get some Administratum Gray out. So while he's drying up for a moment, we're gonna base gray a bunch of stuff down here. Up to the palette goes some gray. So a few things we're going to work on the gray. It's this skull down here, or whatever this critter was. Don't know what this critter was. I know what it is. He's dead. Don't know what you was, but you is dead. We're going to start with a base of the gray, and we build our way up to whatever color we're actually going to paint the skull. Might do... The go-to is Wraithbone. But I have some fun with that. Actually, I've been doing all my skulls in a kind of a blood-covered. Blood for the blood god. Get away, bug. Out of my face. You're back again. Stop flying in my eyeballs. Need those. Okay, I have been running with a like blood-soaked theme for all the skulls. Practically everything, actually. So I could keep going with that. Make this blood-soaked as well. Which actually would be nice if this is like covered in the blood and then that's underneath partly in the resin. It has, you know, a bluish tint. I think it'll help it stand out pretty well. The resin is going to be dyed. I can't remember what the name of that color is. It's like a kind of a sea green, seafoam greenish. What's this color? Raging Sea. That's the name of that color. So let's also run this Marine. Get him in a base gray, including his bones. So we can zoom on in a bit on this. So you've got the Marine torso down here, which is not going to be in focus because the camera doesn't want to focus on that because the smokestacks are higher up. Which is fair. The space holes might get lost. Nightshade! Nightshade! Look at the puppers. Look at the puppers, Nightshade. Look at the puppers. She's super duper sad. She's gonna have another surgery because the tail's not healing the way the doctor wants, so they gotta redo it a little bit. So she's gonna be sad for a little bit longer. Yep. We had some issues with the bandage because her tail is a weapon of destruction. So thankfully, though, they were able to secure things, and the doctor's confident that it's gonna be just fine. But she just has to be sad in a cone of shame, and the cone of shame, and the it's green, so you can barely see the green bandage poking out under her paw there. So for just a little bit longer. All right. How's it? How are you doing, that Jade? In Jersey too. How are you doing? I know that you were making foods. How ya doing? It's a day full of stupidity here. Oh, nice. Casseroles. Making leftovers in advance. It's basically what a casserole is. A casserole is making leftovers in advance. I'm going to make this as leftovers. Yeah, I just run with cold lunches because we don't have microwaves in our office at the moment because it broke. We're waiting for the city to replace it. We're on like 5 months, I think. 6 months without a microwave. Back again, Menno. Yep, whatever's taking your time is relaxing now. Why so long? Because bureaucracy. Same thing that's ruining the empire. Bureaucracy. Ah. Yep. Well, okay, Nightshade, here's a great example. I had to today, one thing I did today was install locks on our refrigerator, padlocks, a padlock system on our refrigerator and our drink storage cabinet, because the janitor that we have caught twice now stealing from them, like literally walking on the guy, taking his stuff and stealing it, still works there every day. We've literally caught him stealing twice from our office. We've caught him napping in our office when he's supposed to be cleaning. Just fucker went to sleep playing music. Still has a full-time job. So the thing is, like, there are microwaves in a break room that's like an extra, 100 feet away. So it's not like, oh my God, there's no microwaves nearby. There's one right over there. But our office, our program has its own little office with its own little kitchen. So we have a microwave, and we have a fridge, and we have a water cooler because we can't drink the water in the building. They flat out told us, do not drink this water. So it's and I get it. That water is probably absolutely spiked with kerosene in fantastic ways. It's so my day job is I do construction accounting for a program that my company runs for the city of Chicago. I live in Chicago, just outside Chicago, Illinois. So, with that, it's the city of Chicago. Our program is specifically with Chicago O'Hare Airport. So there is so much bureaucracy and layers of red tape. It is amazing. They wanted to paint our offices because they felt that the current shade of piss orange, like dehydrated piss orange, was too exciting for people to work there. So they had to find a fantastic color of depression brown. And they did. This color is fantastically fucking depressing. So they went and repainted all our offices with this depression brown. Now, when they got the painting going, the painters came in. They could not remove the plastic cover that covers the emergency evacuation map. So they had to call the building engineers to remove this piece of plastic. The building engineer came and pulled the piece of plastic off the wall. It was literally hung on the wall, so you just lift it up and it comes off. But the painters couldn't do that. So then the engineers came, lifted the plastic, took it off the wall, and set it down. This is right in front of my desk, across an aisle. And so now there's a piece of paper taped to the wall with Scotch tape. That is our emergency evacuation map of like, hey, if this shit burns, you're dying. But if you're going to survive, you want to go that way. So the painters come, and I shit you not, they would not pull that piece of paper off the wall, nor would they lift the piece of paper. So they painted around the piece of paper. So now it's hilarious that if you were to lift the map, you can see the old color underneath it and then put the map back down. So we can never move the map because it would show the old color wall. That is the craziness of just how absurd bureaucracy in the wrong hands is. Last summer? No, it was the summer, or was it last summer? No, it was summer before, I think, where we didn't have functional air conditioning for the year. So this is a big building. It's like you could fit 3,000 odd people in it. Easy. Like it's 2 stories, but it's really long. And so last year, I think it was last year. Oh, last year, the year before, the air conditioning. Okay, and it was last year. The air conditioning unit started to malfunction. And the drain was screwed up. And it started to pour the water from the condensation into the building. And I mean in buckets. There was, at one point we had the giant 50-gallon trash cans that they were filling up. And this water was pouring through the ceiling in a room where we have all our homeowner files for this program we run. So we had to evacuate out and get out. And there's just water pouring in this thing. So eventually they realized that it's not working and they had to shut off the air conditioning. So they shut off the air conditioning. And instead of getting it fixed, they felt it was too expensive to fix it, really. So the first option they did is they rented out they didn't rent them, they bought them. There are these portable air conditioning units about the size of refrigerators. I think we priced them out at like 15 grand a shot. And they started setting those up in all the offices with just like venting it out. Well, I did shit all because this is a big fucking building and they didn't have enough of these. So like, oh, this week we had air conditioning. Next week we wouldn't have it because the people in accounting needed it. Oh, this week we had it, but then it would move around. So we didn't have functional air AC for quite a while. Then they decided, okay, hey, this isn't working right. Let's do something else. Mind you, this is all still instead of fixing the air conditioning unit on the roof. They rented a air conditioner the size that is it's a semi-trailer, basically. It's a full 53-foot semi-trailer air conditioning unit. And they parked that outside and did all the stuff to hook it up. And the moment they turned it on, they realized that it drew way too much electricity and it tripped all the breakers and blew out the power for the building for a while. We're like, okay, that's good. So then they rented a generator the size of a semi-trailer to go with the air conditioner to power it. So for an entire summer, we had this one end of the building had this huge fucking thing running nonstop. with this giant diesel generator. It was consuming a tanker load of fuel a day because the tanker truck came every morning to fill it up. And then that was running the air conditioner. All this instead of fixing the fucking air conditioning. Ah, that was a good time. Exactly. Like, oh, hey, let's, yeah. So it's when I say red tape, like I do accounting and invoice assembly and everything for this program. My margins for my invoices have to be exact. And I mean, when I mean exact, I mean they are literally measured with a ruler when they're printed. If they're not a half-inch margin on the sides, half-inch margin on the top, and a quarter-inch margin on the bottom, leaving room for footers, it's rejected. Yeah. That's why I think when we go to full-on 40K and, the Imperium of Man goes in full swing, I think I'll be all right. I'm used to the bureaucracy at this point. Like, how can you stand this? That's a Tuesday, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't use the correct size of, it's not Arial. I can't remember the font I got to use. For my timesheets have to be this certain font in this size. It's not Times New Roman. They, for some reason, hate Times New Roman. It's like Atropos or something like that. Oh, we had to redo the emergency exit map because it was bad. So we ended up just taping it over the old one just to fuck with them. I can't remember what the font is I got to use. I got to look that up again. When I do timesheet templates and things, I have to use a specific font. It has to be a specific size of a specific font. I am not allowed to have more than 2 font sizes on a document. I see the problem is, Jersey, my stuff would get rejected. I wish I was joking at the fact that my margins do get measured. They don't do it all the time because they know our shit's that good that they don't have to check. Our stuff is like, they're okay, your stuff's always good, so they don't check it too much, but we make sure it's good. Now, it's not worth the headache to have to redo my invoices. We only had 18 invoices this month, and the small ones are like 60 pages, and the big ones are about 200. It was a small month. We didn't have anything crazy going on. But by less paper, that it would mean it would be rejected. It's not the right size paper. The guy in charge of our program is a literal rocket scientist and who cares about the environment. It wouldn't take him long. It really wouldn't. Part of the reason our stuff has to be so exact is that in America, we hate the environment. Fuck this planet. It's not like we're going to use it. So since my department our program is underneath the our environmental division for the airport, we have to do everything in such a perfect way so that it can't be rejected for bullshit. because it absolutely will get rejected for bullshit reasons. It's so funky. So it's part of why our stuff has to be perfect. So there is no way, there's no reason they can reject it for bullshit. They'd be like, well, you used the wrong this, used the wrong that. No, we didn't. Our invoices are fucking flawless. Good lasagna. Lasagna. What kind of lasagna? Nice meat lasagna. I haven't made pasta, like homemade pasta in a while. I should make noodles. So all your meals are surprises then. That sounds actually pretty awesome. Try brushing, try brushing. Just try brushing silver. Look at it afterwards, Jersey. Almost. It's coming along. Yeah, my hand is mostly silver now. See? Silver. Flash. Save every one of us. I don't know why Flash Gordon popped in my head here. Alright. It's not bad at all, I think. It's not bad. Definitely got some good shading. Nice kind of rust tones. I don't know. I'm hoping the color's coming through. See a little bit there. I want to get more. Alright, so I need to use a clean water for this. I definitely clean this brush off. Dry brushes especially need to get a good cleaning. Illegally distinct, not Avatar music. Yeah. Dry brush. Still probably using a bit more washing on that, but it'll be good for the night. Let's try this up. The silver out. Just gotta clean up this brush. Legally distinct, not Batman music. Definitely gonna scrub the shit out of me. Anyhow, so we're pretty close to the end here. We got about 5 minutes left, so we'll cover that up. Set that up. So we got. I don't know how. I'm hoping it comes through reasonably. Okay, that's better. See it there. The kind of rusted out look I was going for. Now the exhaust stacks I do different. These ones I'm debating on how I want to get them done, but the exhaust stacks I usually do in a darker contrast and shade. So, and then all these tubes also get painted up differently. The chain I'll be painting with lead belcher paint. Might want to get this joint a little bit more. Yeah, so like that joint there. Do you realize I want to get this joint behind the chain a little bit more? And then actually this leg, everything I was worried about the chain. So I'll use a smaller dry brush tomorrow off stream to get up under here and get that chain and that stuff done to make it match up with that side. But just that little bit of, so you start off with the lead belcher base and then the Sagor brown. The lead belcher makes it nice, and with the contrast makes it kind of brighten it up almost. Makes it less brownish. And gives it a metallic sheen. And then with the Urnfang silver being really bright, it really shines up that rust look. And the end result is kind of what's sitting on the is the Rampager there. Or like this guy here. Same basic thing, so. This is just the chassis in there. The armor plates in this guy are going to be done in Space Wolf Gray contrast with a what that was. That was wet. There's the metallic I got. It's not Balthazar. Oh. So it's going to be this gray, this kind of dark grayish contrast over the, so this is going to be the metallic shine on the armor plates. And then I'm going to be using this Screaming Bell kind of bronzish color for the trim. And then everything else is going to be highlighted by Skull Crusher brass for other items. It should come out looking very different than the others. It's going to be different than the turquoise Rampager there and my emerald. Basically, I've got a green knight, a turquoise knight, and I have a blue knight and a purple knight. Now, the only thing I'm not sure of yet is what I want to do with the face. Now, all my masks have been the same color, so I'm thinking I'm just going to paint the face in the head in the same contrasty color in this Space Wolf's gray and highlight it out, and then probably make the eyes glow and bleed. So that's what I'll do. I'll make the eyes really glow, and then I'll have the blood effect coming out of them. So, and then this is going to be such a fucking headache. You can already see it. So I'm going to have to dry brush in all these areas first, then hit it with the contrast paint, then do my trim pieces, which there's lots of trim. Chaos is all about the trim. Get to the missiles, creative colors, my bloodletters with their musicians, and then the banner. The banner I'm going to have, I got to figure out what I want on the banner. Yeah, I want this white one, but that white one's too big, I think. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do in the banner. I could just put a lot of the script, like all the script ones running down. So it looks like a banner full of words and script and things. But yeah, and then all the skulls, of course, will all be blood, and then all the blood bleeding. So I think I made decent progress tonight. Got this guy primered, got him base coated and dry brushed in. So it is definitely coming along. So with that, I will be back on should be on next Saturday, depending on what happens and the way things go. Don't think of anything weird happening, so probably next Saturday. And then Sunday and Monday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. You can follow along on Blue Sky, the producer's on at Blue Sky, if you want to see the daily progress updates, because I post every day of what I'm doing there. Always check out Orc and Squig. Actually, the Imperium. Hell yeah. But check out Orc and Squig for fun Orc and Squiggy adventures. And with that, I will wish you all a good night.